I really like Bland, and I don't want to move Bland inside. I've heard so many people say, and I've kind of been quiet on that, but I just don't want to move Bland inside just to say, hey, let's just move Bland to the nickel. He can get beat, but Bland is a darn good cornerback, 2-1, however you want to look at it, but he's a good freaking corner. Like he is. Yeah. We need to find another solid outside corner. You want it to be Diggs. Like we wouldn't be having this Jalen Ramsey conversation, which, you know, I would love to have Ramsey, but if Diggs is healthy and he's done what he's supposed to do, you're not talking about Jalen Ramsey. I don't think you are. But the fact that it's up in the air, so I would say pick it up. I'm gonna be honest. Trevon Diggs needs to pick it up. Like Trevon Diggs, when the picks went away, the play has not been the same. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It hasn't been. Trevon Diggs has not played to what he got paid for. And that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense to everybody, but he hasn't been the same.
Injury plague. Yeah.
And my question mark, or I can tell Sky got some thoughts, so I'll go right to him. My question mark will be Israel Mukuamu. Israel Mukuamu had a game versus San Francisco in that playoff game where I just said, wow, he can play football. And you never saw it again. And so, and maybe in spot time, you guys check me, but I think for me, if Izzy can be something, now you're cooking with grease. If Savon Ravel can be something, you could add him as a question mark. So that's mine. How you feeling, Sky?
The room is a giant question mark. you gotta,
I got this guy.
Well, what I'm saying is that there are known knowns and that there are known unknowns, but there's also unknown unknowns.
That's that's my joint right there.
Yeah, that's what it is, Scott, but keep going.
It is, man. If healthy, we talked about this last week. If healthy, I actually love the room. Well, I love the top of the room in regards to Diggs, Bland. I'm not as out on Diggs as many when it comes to on the field. I don't think he was some egregious player. Yes, his picks went down, but if you go look at 23, was 21 where he had the most picks? So you look at 22, 21. Diggs was a fine corner. He was a fine corner. Got injured in 23, came back in 24, and he still was. You go look at that defense, you're not talking about, man, Diggs is playing bad or Diggs is the issue over here. I don't think that's the case at all. So the issue with Diggs is the injury and the mental, right? Because we know we've heard everything
and the rehab, the lack thereof.
That's the mental I'm talking about. I that's the mental. Foots, like I was just getting to it. We know the issue in regards to the rehab, the want to, the not reporting. You know, these are legitimate things. This isn't just rumors. He was an issue in regards to that. Verbatim from what I heard was one of the worst people in regards to rehab that the Cowboys ever had. So can he gotta mature in that way? And then does he bounce back from his injury? If he's healthy, I don't question Trevon Diggs. I think he's one of the better corners if he's healthy. Deron Bland, one of the better corners if he's healthy. Savon Ravel, you said you don't want to knock Bland inside. My follow-up would be, well, what if it's best for the team? Right? What if you don't go get a Mike Hilton who you want? What if you don't go get a Jalen Ramsey who you want? I think what's best for the team would be to put him in the slot. And I'll leave it at that. The rest of the guys, I mean, Kyrie Elam, we had the discussion. Izzy's probably going to play the slot to start off, but the question would be back to you. If that's best for the team, would you be against that?
I definitely think that Bland can do it, but my hope would be, my hope would be Savon Ravel and Bland play on the edge and you figure the nickel out. But I know you've been big on that nickel position. It's just not an easy position. So I hear you there. I want to push back on something though, Sky. I find it very interesting that Diggs is now doing a documentary about
he being petty.
That's John. Remember when I said this when the show first started? I said, bro, he's telling on himself a lot. Now, cool, document it all. I just want you, bro, come back locked in. Like now I'm talking to you because I had a conversation with Zach Wolchuk, and it's like, bro, he was right. Like, bro, honor playing for the Cowboys. Like, honor, take it serious. If you're not gonna take rehab serious and you're not gonna and you got paid, this is why fans feel away. This is why the front office may feel away. And it's not making it them tick versus tap, but it's like, come on, bro. Like, you got paid and you gave us your ass to kiss. And that's how I feel. So it's just like, at the end of the day, he may not have been a bad player, Scott, but when you hear these reports coming out and then you do the stuff after the game with the reporter, it's just no need for that, bro. Just be better. You had a bad game. He asked you a question. Be better. That's it. So I've been passionate about that, John. You know, I've been passionate about that since we first started the show. Because if you aren't going to take it serious, then I need to replace you. Like Will McClay says, I need to replace you, and that's why they drafted Savon Ravel. If you're not going to take it serious, we're going to bring somebody in here who will. That's what I feel. So I didn't mean to go off on a rant, but as far as when it comes to Bland Sky, I'm not married to him not moving inside. I'm just like, he's so good on the edge that I think it's easier to find a nickel, but it may not be.
I think nickel might. I don't know, man. Nickel's tough. You ain't lying. Nickel's hard, and Deron Bland is showing he can do it. And I think he fits Eberflus' scheme in there if he were to go inside.
Yeah. Law.
All right. Well, when we started talking about this, as far as the outside corners, I like Bland on the outside, and I know for sure that his people are banging the table for him to stay on the outside too, because there's other things that comes with playing on the outside.
Let me jump in on that one real quick, because I always see his conspiracy theories and stuff like that. Like my favorite one was the Micah one, like don't play too much linebacker or whatever. Yeah. If you're sacking the quarterback, you're going to get paid like, I don't know, like the highest paid non-quarterback that's ever played the game. This man caught the ball 5 times and ran him back for touchdowns. I don't care if you put him back to safety. You're not going to nickel and dime somebody that has the resume that he does. So the idea that like, if he's on the outside, then he's going to get the big money from somebody regardless. Like if the Cowboys want to try and be cheap with him and be like, well, you're a nickel here, then you just go to and be like, thank you for your time. I'm going to go get paid, and I'm going to put myself out there, and I will get paid to the highest bidder. But there is nothing that he has done up to this point where he is going to get treated like, well, you're just kind of a nickel one-trick pony. We can't really pay you like a shutdown. No, he's already put it out on the resume. You're not going to all of a sudden start paying him like a kicker because you're a nickel now. If anything, the nickel position is so much more important now in football than ever before.
Yes.
To me, this might be taken a little too far, and maybe I'll have to walk this back. But I'm almost teetering on the point of like, if I would rather have the best nickel corner. Then I probably shouldn't go as far. I was going to say linebacker. I probably still would have, but like linebacker is so getting run out of the game to me. Now the game can change and it might come back, and I might be caught on the back end of it when it comes back. But like, there's just positions that I just don't care about as much as I used to because the game's changed. Right. And nickel corner is not what nickel corner was 10 years ago. It is an important position. Like you're going to have at least a good nickel. You'd love to have a great one, but you have to have at least a good nickel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that, John. John, you came in with some heat.
Yeah, no, I wish. I think nickel is definitely more valuable, I think, than linebacker at this moment.
Yeah, because you can squeeze the wide receiver in there and get two-way goals, and you got wide receivers now. The world's like a CD Lamb. They got the ability to play on the outside and the inside. So yeah, you would like to have a DB that can trail and cover, and they got good recovery speed. Yeah.
And they have to do multiple things. I get linebackers have to cover too, but they ain't covering receivers.
Right.
They're not covering Cooper Kupps of the world are going inside. The Chris Godwins of the world are going inside, right? And they also have to be guys that fit in the run game. Oh, and they're also responsible. Shouts out to 2i. We were talking about this with Jordan Lewis, who explained this. They're also responsible for the communication between the front end and the back end. And Deron Bland, selfish plug here, had him on a show a few years ago, and I asked him how difficult it is to play on the inside. And he flat out said it's harder than playing on the edge because of the two-way goals, because of what you have to do in the run game, because of the communication. You are kind of that, you may not be green dot, but you're like that second green dot because you have to be able to relay all this information in seconds. And still do your job, not knowing where the hell this guy's going to go. When you're on the boundary, he talked about how that boundary is an extra defender. So you can lean, you can push a little bit, and if he steps out of bounds, you're good to go. So man, nickel is very valuable, and I don't think you're out of bounds at all, John.
No, John, you're right on it. And hopefully, Khair can really do something for us to alleviate that. So Bland, Khair, and who's the other person? I heard Josh Butler. He may be coming back with full strength, and if these three guys can be solid pieces, then we okay. But the only problem is week 1, you don't want to get embarrassed with AJ Brown and Smitty. So you got to make sure that DB rooms is the only room where the DBs got to have confidence. And if you don't have confidence, man, you looking up 30, 40 bombs down the field. And it could be very, very crazy for us.
I think that'll be the position that if it looks crazy in camp, they'll make a move. To John, I think everybody said that.
It's gonna look crazy in camp.
Yeah.
Why is it gonna look crazy, John?
Yeah,
because he's guarding CeeDee
George
Lamb.
Pickens and CeeDee Lamb are gonna eat.
They're gonna eat.
Bro, we forget Pickens and Lamb's out, and Lamb is out.
Right.
It's taking me a while. It's taking me a while, Scott. It's taking me a while.
Diggs is not going to be out there early. Savon Ravel's probably not going to be out there. You know, day one, just everything is good to go. I just tore my knee last September, and there's no growing pains. Now there's going to be growing pains, and then Kyrie Elam and the rest of the band. Yeah, man, they're going to get baptized, but it should help them, hopefully.
By fire, baptized by
now
fire.
Just by looking at stats alone, Foot, Sky, and John, I was looking at this for the last 3 years. Gilmore and Ramsey stats are very much so the same at that DB spot. I think Gilmore, it won't cost you $24 million.
No, go get him now.
Go get him now. Yeah.
You think they're the same? You think they're similar players?
I don't think
gonna say that, but the stats say.
Ramsey's more versatile.
Don't do me like that, John. That ain't the same.
Are you looking at stats on ESPN, or because I look at stats on Over the Cap? So
okay.
Yeah. Well, that's what the law's point. It's not going to cost you $26 million and 36 next year. And, you know.
You know what makes Ramsey so good? I'm serious about this. The most physical corner. Oh, dog, bruh, Sky. Me and Sky be so locked in. Like, if you really a ball watcher, bro, Ramsey will come downhill and destroy you. He doesn't care if you're a running back. Yeah, and I have thoughts about this. I've heard people. I don't know where y'all are, but I've heard people say, "Oh, just put him at safety." See, I think he could do it, but I don't like safety. Again, is his own position. People talk about that with Byron Jones. And bro, he's a corner, and let him play corner. Let him do what he does. But go ahead, Sky.
No. Don't rule it out. Okay, because we've seen the transition happen.
You gotta be a guy. You gotta be Charles Woodson type.
Slow down. Let me cook a little bit right here. Let me cook a little bit. Charles Woodson is the guy I was about to refer to, and I'm not saying Jalen Ramsey is Heisman Hall of Famer. However, he's a dude.
You don't think he's a Hall of Famer?
I think he is a Hall of Famer.
Well, I'm just actually.
I don't think he's that far off from Woodson. I'm being serious with you.
Wow.
Okay. He was a safety. He was a safety in college.
Here you go. Take it away.
Him and Derwin.
That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm trying to get the Foots here. When you don't rule that out, because there are a few that can do it. Charles Woodson was one. Again, he may not have been a Heisman guy. He may not be. Maybe after he retires, you think about Hall of Fame, but no one's really thinking that right now. With Charles Woodson, at a point in time, you knew Hall of Fame, right? But why can't Ramsey do? I think Ramsey actually should convert at some point to elongate his career, and I think he could do it very well. At
some point, yeah. I think, okay, I was thinking more for this team. I like him at corner.
I'll take him on my team. Figure it out when he get here.
But
they're not going to do that.
In the words of our guy Voch Lombardi, he was in the chat earlier. He's the better dude, right? Scott,
he's the dude. Yeah,
he's the better dude. He's the better dude.
Bro, let's keep it a beam, man.
Yeah,
he stepped